Welcome back everyone after a very long break, and I know that you did not miss me. A point ये है that let me remind you, I am done with the chapter income from house property.
Yes, sir.
All concepts are over.
Yes.
In fact, we were into the question answer and about 3-4 questions were left. But we reached the end time of the lecture and then we had a gap. I had sent one message and I had told them to forward. You got it.
Yes.
So one thing is for sure that if you are not answering the things that I ask you now, so I am not doing these questions. And then they by default become your self-study. Homework bhi to wo hoga which I will check. So if you have not bothered to revise, then why should I also bother to check? So that automatically becomes your self-study. Good thing hai, I get more time to start my next chapter. Good only, no? So let me see. ठीक है. I think we finished till question number. I think nahi. I am sure that I finished question number 48.
Yes, sir.
Last. Mr. Mohan. So ये 49 and then the 3 additional questions that we have.
Yes, sir.
चलिए. So this is what we have to do. Only 4 questions of house property are left. Then we will start our next chapter. So कौन read कर रहा है? This is page number 80, question number 49, page number 80. Yes, please.
Question number 49. X, an American national, is a resident in India during the previous year ended on 31st March 2023. He was the owner of a building located in New York. The same was on rent at US dollars 12,500 per month. The municipal corporation of New York was paid taxes on such building of US dollars $10,000 on 12 February 23. Besides the above property, he purchased a piece of land at Delhi for construction of a house. The said land was given on rent for running of a dairy at 3,000 per month, wherefrom
With effect from
1st October 20. The value of $1 in the Indian rupee over the year remained at 66.5. Next wants to know his taxable income from the assessment year 23-20.
In which parallel world now US dollar is 66.5? We'll keep a separate lecture to discuss that. Right now, if you observe carefully, there are 2 incomes given to us. One, the rental income from US, from that property. And second, the rent of land. Now, one thing is for sure, ये जो land का rent है ना, this will not be taxable under house property. Because the very first thing in the chapter told us that only if there is a building. But then he is asking us to compute the total income. ठीक है, तो ये 3,000 will go in income from other sources. That is not a big deal. Despite not learning the chapter, it is not difficult for you to answer. And as far as the second income is concerned, 12,500 per month का rent. ये तो foreign में है, तो this anyways is not taxable. So how does it matter?
So it is foreign income, but since he is resident of India,
Global income is taxable. If the assessee is resident, then global income is going to be taxable. But he is an American national. बाढ़ में गया. Nationality is irrelevant when it comes to scope of total income. Residential status does not depend on nationality. Once you are a resident, that depends on number of days in India. ये क्या है कि if it was not for this gap, no, तो I would have assumed कि ये सब तो याद है. But I am just giving you a recap. Residential status depends on number of days, and once you are resident, you pay tax on world income, and of course the income is given in foreign currency, so exchange rate is given. So everything that you calculate by multiplying. This one more piece of news I would like to give you. This is a coincidence that throughout the year the value of dollar remained 66.5. You could have asked me, I would clarify it even before you ask me. 66.5 throughout the year. That means 1st April or 31st March does not make any difference. Whatever foreign income 12,500 per month hai, into 12 of course, because it is per month, into 66.5. But what if the exchange rate, and practically exchange rate cannot be same throughout the year. So it is going to be different on different dates. So the rule is, first let me tell you that rule, though I think it is written already in the answer here. Orally I am telling you it is written, it's a printed answer. So orally I am telling you, for house property income, in case the income is in a foreign country, exchange rate will be taken on the last day of the previous year. That is for your exam. You will take the exchange rate on 31st March 23. House property के लिए it is last day of the year का rate that is to be taken. Even if the rent was earned in April, May, June, July, it will be earned in foreign currency. Full year का rent then you have to convert. That conversion rate has to be taken from the last day of the year. Year full year it is 66.5, so does not make any difference. Effectively, this 12,500 is going to be taxable. So ठीक है, let us compute our income from house property. We have understood that the income that is earned is 12,500, but it is in dollars. So we multiply by 12 first of all because it is per month, and then multiply or divide. That is also serves. And how did you decide that? But how do you decide multiply or divide? Because most people don't understand. ऐसा कुछ होता है. See, rupee dollar. Okay, 166.5. तो ये जो भी है, this is in dollar, no? 12,500 into 12, what do you get? 150, do you? 12,500 into 12, 150 आता. Yes. So this is how much in rupees, and then cross multiplication will make it clear that you have to multiply. For those who understood the conversion on your own, very good. But if not, this is how you decide. Accordingly, we will multiply by 66.5, and what do you get? 99.75. And that's your taxable house property income. No, Mitro, this is gross annual value. कितना बोला? 99 lakh? 75. This is gross annual value because the question has also given us information about municipal taxes, and they are paid. See, once they are paid, if we are taxing your world rent, then deduction also we will have to give of that municipal tax. No, it's a local tax. So that is going to be, that's not per month. ये सब पागल जैसा बात मत करना. That 12,500 per month के सामने every month you are paying 10,000 का municipal tax. They have not given that as per. In fact, that is total one time payment. 10,000. 10,000 into 66.5. That makes it 6,65,000. Acha. So what do you get? NAV. And what is the amount? 9 lakh. 93 lakh. Next step. This deduction under section 24. First we will have standard deduction at 30%. So what is the standard deduction? 30% of your NAV? 27. कोई तो टेक्स्ट बुक में से रीड कर करके बोल रहा है. 2793. And of course interest is not given only. If it was given, we would have taken it. 2793. Accordingly, you will get your income from house property. 65 lakh. And as far as the second income is concerned, see, right now I can't expect you to answer that part also about income from other sources because we've studied only the first head, which is actually second head, but we studied it as the first head house. But still, for your knowledge, that vacant land, at least utna to yaad hai na, vacant land ka rent cannot come in house property, so it will go in IFOS. 3,000 per month hai. So pagal ki tarah don't multiply by 12. Why 6? Because it is let out from 1st October, so only 6 months are left. That part I don't want you to answer till the time you have understood the solution till here. The house property part, current intention is only that house property ka part becomes clear. IFOS will take care of itself one fine day when it will come. Okay? Chaliye. And jaisa ki maine aapko bola, you have to take the exchange rate on the last day for house property income. Now we have last 3 questions remaining, and they are unsolved questions. Isme asli maza hai, because right now if you were giving answers, there was no real test as to whether you have really studied or no. Your real talent is going to be tested now. I will be doing 50 first, then I will do 52 because 50 and 52 are based on small concepts. And then we go to 51, which is the Gita, Quran, Bible, Agam, Guru Granth Sahib of this chapter, whatever you follow. Kya follow karna hai, that is your choice. 51 is basically a summary of the entire chapter. See, I told you 500 plus questions I have given you, including class questions and additional questions. But one day before your exam in 1.5 days, where you have GST also, because it's a total 100 mark paper, it is humanly not possible to solve 500 questions. But you have to shortlist and you have to prepare yourself for that last 1.5 day from today itself. Concept should be clear, and konsa question I practice one day before my exam, so that my practice is good enough to appear for the paper. So this 51 will take care of that entire thing. Entire chapter is covered here in this chapter. So pehle we will go to question number 50. Dabara na, itna handsome face tera dikhta nahi hai. Question 50 please.
Mr. Suraj has one house property consisting of two identical units. One unit is SOP throughout the year and unit 2 is LOP for 5.5 months at 20,000 per month, and SOP for 5 months and vacant for 1.5. The 1 month's rent could not be realized as per rule. Fair rent and municipal valuation of the entire house is 27,000 per month and 26,000 per month respectively. The standard rent under the Rent Control Act is 30,000 per month. Municipal taxes paid for the entire house is 20,000, whereas payable was 22,000. Interest on loan due taken on 5,598 for the entire property is 65,000. Compute the income from house property.
So what the question wants from you, they have laid down very clearly. You do this and we will give you marks. Can you define that? What do you need to do to get your marks? Compute the income from house property. But this one house, as you can observe, has been divided into two units. There are divisible units, unit 1 and unit 2. Unit 1 is used as SOP. For a property to be SOP, it has to be used for own residence throughout the year, not given on rent even for one day. Does the question mention that? SOP throughout the year. In fact, only if it is throughout the year, it can be called SOP. Okay? Unit 2 has been let out only for 5.5 months. And then it was SOP for 5 months. So total 10.5 ho gaya. It was vacant for 1.5. So that's the breakup of 12 months of unit 2. Correct? Eh? So obviously, they have given the facts about the property. You have given on rent how many days. You stayed with family how many days. It was vacant for how many days. This is the data given. Now I have a question for you. Because it's little LOP, little. So we will have to do proportionate, no? 5.5 months ka LOP, 5 months. Abhi bol. One day also, if it is let out, it will be treated as LOP. That means, can I say unit 2 ka treatment will be done by treating it as? Accordingly, we have to compute income for unit 1, then we compute income from unit 2, and we add the two, we get our income from house property. How to present it? Because these are unsolved questions, of course. PDF you will get at the end of the lecture. So your entire focus should be on how to solve. Presentation jaisa main kar raha hu, wohi presentation hai. So presentation also you will get once the PDF is made available to you. Your full focus should be, are my concepts clear? The steps that are coming in my mind one after the other, are they correct steps in the correct order? We have to check that. Let's solve for unit 1. Every time you do a sum which involves multiple properties, your property is one but still divided into multiple properties. So you should against that property write the nature. Nature matlab गुस्से वाला के प्यार वाला nature नहीं. Nature matlab SOP है, LOP है, DLOP है. This will help you to decide अभी इसके बाद में what do you have to do. For example, unit 1 is SOP. ठीक है, चलिए. Let's compute gross annual value first. Municipal valuation or fair rent. We will directly start with NAV, which will be. This will help you to take this fast decision. समझा? If a property is LOP, then we have to do everything. GAV, municipal. अगर SOP है तो immediately it becomes. And this is why I said कि write the nature of the property. ठीक है? NAV nil. After NAV, we have our deductions under section 24. 24A के अंदर we have standard deduction at 30%. This you can check on your calculator. 30% of 0 will be 0 only. And interest on borrowed capital. Interest ka data is given to us. Interest on loan taken for the property. Okay. But for that I have a question before we actually write. that we have been given interest का amount. For this property unit 1, the deduction will be limited or unlimited. क्यों? SOP में there is a maximum limit and we get deduction subject to that limit. If it is LOP, directly the actual amount of interest will be allowed as a deduction because there is no upper limit. Correct है कि नहीं? But SOP, तो deduction रहेगा. Yes. But it will be limited. Yes. And therefore we will have to write actual interest कितना and maximum कितना. Yes, sir. We will have to write both. Correct? And of course, whichever is lower will be allowed as a deduction. Actual question will tell you, maximum you have to decide where there are two possibilities. क्या two? 30,000 के 2 lakhs. Correct है? But actual तो question देख के you can say no. Actual interest कितना? 65 Popat. This was the main point of the question. Main point of the question. 65,000 is for the entire property. And question has mentioned they are identical. Identical matlab half half. See, had it been a different ratio, so they will say 70% is SOP and 30% is LOP. Identical means how? Equal hai na? And therefore the actual interest for the SOP portion is only 32,500. 65 is for the entire house. So half SOP, half LOP. And maximum will be how much? That's our second question. I will give you one hint here. When the question is silent, 30 dene ka ke 2 lakh, and here it will make a difference. If you write 30, then deduction will be 30. And if you write 2 lakh, so deduction will be 32,500. 2 lakh nahi, whichever is lower hoega. Here it will make a difference. Abhi ye actual interest agar 3,000 hota na, then it will make no difference, and then no need to write also. But here it will make a difference. So there are 3 conditions to get 2 lakh. If the question is silent, assume the condition is satisfied. Okay, that's my hint. If the question is silent, assume the condition is satisfied. And now accordingly, please tell me, what's your answer here? 30,000. I said if the question is silent, assume that the conditions are satisfied. So no. If the question is silent, then you assume the condition is satisfied. When the question is shouting, that the loan was taken on 5/5/98, which falls before the date, that is 1/4. Now, what were the 3 conditions? Purchase or construction? Loan taken on or after 1/4/1999 and construction completed within a period of, correct na? So loan is taken in 98, which is before 1999, and accordingly maximum will be 30. Now we have to choose. So 30. So finally our interest deduction is 30. And SOP ka best feature is this only, that in the entire computation of SOP, there will be only one amount. That's your interest ka deduction. Accordingly, total deductions 30,000. And do you understand? The final answer from my unit 1 is coming as a negative figure 30,000. I'll call this 1. What's the benefit of SOP? That the loss which is created under SOP is going to be adjusted against the profit created in whatever be. Take a random example. Abhi to unit 2 we will be doing, no? Take random amount. Okay, unit 2 ka final answer, what do you get? 1 lakh rupees. So finally you pay tax on 75,000. 70, not 75, 70,000. So do you understand the benefit? Instead of paying tax on 1 lakh, we will take tax only on, and that is called set off of one loss against another, for which we have a special dedicated chapter, set off and carry forward of losses, which is a part of our total income computation. First 5 heads are there, then clubbing is there, then set off is there, no? तो वो आएगा. But as of now, unit 1 का loss is 30,000. Let's go to unit 2. Nature क्या है? Nature LOP. Very good. Once a property is LOP, how do you start? सबसे पहले you will take gross annual value. Gross annual value का steps. Does anyone remember step number 1? Municipal valuation. Very good. चलो. हाँ तो स्टेप लिखते ही जाते हैं ना साइमल्टेनियसली. म्यूनिसिपल वैल्यूएशन गिवन टू यू. कितना है म्यूनिसिपल वैल्यू? फोकस केयरफुली. म्यूनिसिपल वैल्यूएशन इज गिवन, फेयर रेंट इज गिवन, रिस्पेक्टिवली वर्ड इज यूज्ड. तो फर्स्ट क्या लिखा है? म्यूनिसिपल वैल्यूएशन और फेयर रेंट. तो दैट मीन्स सेकंड वाला अमाउंट इज म्यूनिसिपल वैल्यू. एंड व्हाट इज दैट सेकंड वाला अमाउंट? 26,000. So shall I write 26 in the outer column? No, 26 is per month. So we will have to take 26,000 into 12 and outer column में we will write 3,12,000 नहीं, 1,56,000 will go in the outer because 26 is for the entire property and we are doing an identical, मतलब half वाला part unit 2. बराबर. अभी next step क्या? चलिए, excellent. Fair rent, that is also given to you and all this is always going to be given. That is 27,000. I trust you with this, that I strongly believe that now you cannot make that mistake. क्या? half वाला. हाँ, 1,62,000. चलिए ठीक है. You only take me ahead. I am to just writing whatever you say. Very good. Expected rent is going to be whichever is higher. So finally 156 or 162 में से we are choosing whichever is higher. Very good. Next. If given, then you have to take standard rent. Standard rent is given to you. 30,000 per month है. तो into 12 into half. Excellent. 1,80,000. Next step. ALB, also known as RLB. This is going to be expected rent or standard rent, whichever is lower. So that comes to, चलिए, very good, 1,62,000. Next step. Actual rent. अभी actual के अंदर received के receivable. 1 month rent could not be realized, ऐसा कुछ बोला है. And as per rules मतलब you have fulfilled the condition. Accordingly, we will take the receivable rent minus the unrealized rent. What is the actual monthly rent that we have given our property for? 30,000. So receivable 30,000 into 12. No, bro. Only 5.5. Sir, why only 5.5? Because the property was let out only for a period of 5.5 months. और ये months इसके अंदर भी 1 month का rent was unrealized. Correct है कि नहीं? So that will be नहीं 5.5 में, मतलब you mean to say कि इसको half करना है. Is that what you are saying? Vacancy है ना, हमको unrealized है. अच्छा, ये तो clear है that this 30,000 will not be taken as half. Because this is the let out value of unit 2 only, not the entire house. Entire house let out किधर किया है? Let out is only unit 2, no? हाँ, so here there will be no half. What is your received rent? Now listen. For those who understood the concept at that time, good. This is a revision. We have to choose between these two. ALV or actual, whichever is higher. ALV or actual. गाना गाया था हमने क्लास में. ALV or actual. Correct है? Right now, if you compare, this will be appearing as higher, which is not fair. This actual is low because of unrealized vacancy वाला rent. And only for comparison purposes, we do our last step. What do we do? In this amount, we add the vacancy. अगर इधर 12 में से 5.5 गया तो 6.5 you take, no? तो गया काम से. No. Vacancy is not 6.5. Vacancy is only 1.5. And in that note, we had written that SOP period will be excluded from the definition of vacancy. So vacancy is only 1.5 months का. 30,000 into 1.5. So vacancy में 45. Now see how to find out GAV. Listen. GAV will be in दोनों में से. But comparison will happen between these two. मतलब compare these two, but choose between these two. That's your GAV calculation. This last step is done only for comparison. This 180 will never become GAV. This was done only for comparison purposes, and the rule is somewhat like this. After comparison, if this is higher, that means assessee is chore. Without vacancy also you are showing lower amount, and this will be your answer. But after comparison, if this is higher, that means assessee is not a chore. His actual is lower only because of vacancy. Next year when there will be no vacancy, he will be showing a higher actual value anyways. So we will trust him and take his actual value. His actual matlab which one? Not 180. 135. And that is why we say, compare these two, but choose between these two. That is why we say, if this is higher, then this is only GAV. If this is higher, then this is GAV. That's the whole discussion about GAV. Correct again? Actually, very good. Finally, we have reached one stage of our life where we can decide as actual plus vacancy greater than ALB. Understand what I am writing? So, actual will be equal to GAV. Without vacancy wala actual. And that is how much? 1,35,000. Is the GAV wala part clear? So, abhi, very good. Less municipal taxes. देखो last time SOP के अंदर NAV is directly 0. So we did not bother about municipal tax. But here we are taking GAV, so we will have to take municipal tax also. So what is your municipal tax? 22,000 was the liability. So will we get deduction of 22? No, because deduction is available only on payment basis. We have paid only 20, so deduction will be. I did not expect you to make this mistake now. But this is unit 2. Dekho, come here. You have paid iska 10,000 and you have paid iska 10,000. But iska to we are not taxing only, no. Whatever computation we have done of GAV kiska hai, wo iska hi hai na. So deduction be only iska municipal tax ka will be given to you. In fact, all these amounts that we have written, whether 156, 162, whatever are these amounts, they are all pertaining only to this. So pure house ka kaise mile? If full house was let out, so full 20 will be allowed as a deduction. Correct hai kya nahi? Chaliye. So, theek hai, no problem. But now you are clear that the deduction will be only 10,000. So 125 will become my NAV. Very good. Next, deductions under section 24. First, standard deduction. वो कितना है? 30%. 30% of 125 will give you 37,500. And second, interest. This time the interest will be limited or unlimited, because this is LOP. So unlimited. Unlimited मतलब full actual amount. Full actual मतलब 65. 65 का half, because 65 is for the entire property. Now no restriction on 32,500. Effectively you get 70,000. Finally, what's your taxable income from unit 2? 55,000. And if the question is asking me, what is my income from house property? Do you understand? 1 plus 2. 1 was SOP. SOP mein what did I get? Negative 30. Negative 30 plus positive 55. Effectively, 25,000 will be your taxable income from house property. Is this clear? Yes. That way, this sum also summarizes the entire chapter, but not in as much detail as that next question will do. But I will not go to question number 51 first. I will finish 52. Once 52 is done, then we can solve 51, which is going to summarize your entire chapter for you. Chaliye, very good. So question number 52, please. Page number 81.
You are required to calculate interest on paid construction period in respect of the following assets. Assets. A, B, C and D.
मतलब 4 different people are giving you data. What data? Only the particulars. The date on which they took the loan, the date of starting construction, most useless information in the entire discussion. We are not, देखो एक बात बताओ, प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन पीरियड स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम विच डेट? So that date is relevant. And ends कब? Either you repay the loan or completion of construction के पहले वाला 31st March. But in this entire period, when you started the construction is absolutely irrelevant. Do you understand that? So that is irrelevant. But yes, the next date is definitely important. That is date of completion of construction. And as far as principal and rate is concerned, if they don't give you this data, that means there is a defect in the question. As an answer right, a paper checker, tu chor tera baap chor, you, I pray to God that you all children write more difficult papers and they never pass. इसे सच में मत लिख देना. Without principal and without interest, rate of interest question is wrong. Is that clear? तो चलिए, principal and interest is given. We have to calculate the pre-construction period. Do we know that deduction of interest is going to start once the building is ready? So if there was some time taken during the construction period, that interest was not allowed as a deduction because there was no building, and after the building was constructed, only current year का due basis is allowed. And इसीलिए pre construction को we divide in how many installments? 5 installments, 1/5 starting from the year of completion of construction. But for that we have to first calculate. So I will show you the format of the first assessment, how to present. तो पहला assessee A का I will do, so that B you can solve on your own. ठीक है? Assessee A. What is the principal? 12 lakh. What is the rate given to us? 12% per annum. ठीक है. Okay. What is the start of your pre-construction period? Can I say date of loan? Which is 1st June 2017. And end date is you completed the construction on 10th August 23. What will be the end date of your pre-construction period? This is the most important thing in pre-construction interest ka discussion. Which 31st March? And what is the logic? See, the loan is not repaid. Matlab interest is getting due even today. The property got completed in the year 23-24. Matlab 23-24 ka house property computation will take place. Matlab 23-24 ka deduction will be allowed from 1st of April. So till which date ka deduction we have not received? Till 31st March before this year started. Accordingly, the end date is going to be 31st March 23. And Mitro, if you have principal, rate, start date and end date, then calculation of this interest is not a CA inter direct tax. This is 8th standard arithmetic which you should be doing without calculators. But you have the privilege of your calculators also. So do you understand? In this entire story, 20 to 23 ka full year ka interest will apply. I am going in reverse order. 21-22 full year, 20-21 full year, 19-20 full year, 18-19 full year, 17-18 part of a year. That means 5 full years. 18-19 से लगा के 20 to 23, 5 full years, 12 lakh, 12%. 12% is for 1 year, no? And you're calculating for how many years? I hope you don't divide it by 12. When you have to calculate for 5 months, so we take 5 by 12. This is 5 years. So 1 year ka, see, you could have done independently. 18-19, 12 lakh into 12%. 19-20, 12 lakh into, so ultimately those 5 amount will be same. So add that 5 times or multiply by 5. That's 7 lakh 20,000. And as far as 17-18 is concerned, 12 lakh है, 12% है, but not for the full year. Now, this will depend on the start date. If the start date is 1st of a month, so take in months, no problem. No problem. But if it is, say, 15th of June, you can't take half month. Then you have no option. Guess karo what is the way in which you can do it. You have to do it in days, there is no other option. But here it is right from the first day of the month, so we can directly take in months. Kitna months? Someone said 9 months. 9 nahi hai, 10 hai. Because April and May are excluded, from June we have to include. So Accordingly, what is your total pre-construction interest? 8 lakh 40. Not asked in the question. I am asking you. Installment कितने का होगा? What is going to be the installment? मतलब per year कितना deduction? 1/5, 1 lakh 60.
Sir, but this is taking more than 5 years, na?
हाँ.
Complete. So it should be for pre-construction period, for this pre-construction interest, it should be completed within 5 years, right? So,
That is only, first of all, if the property is SOP. And that is also only for the higher limit of 2 lakh. If this property is LOP, let it take 50 years. If this is SOP and it has taken more than 5 years, ठीक है, calculate the interest. Installment will be 1,68,000. You agree? Plus current year का भी होगा ना, because the loan is till now unpaid. So 12 lakh का 12% 144. 168 plus 144, some 3,12,000 will be restricted to 30. And अगर 5 years से कम होता तो restricted to 2 lakh. But LOP में तो full मिलेगा. So that 5 years का rule is only for higher limit of SOP. Correct है? चलिए. And here what is going to be the per year का installment? 160, because divide by 5. Now that you have the format in front of you, B का you will do on your own right now. Question 52 का assessee B. Don't copy A first. Don't waste time in doing that. B का solve करो. Format is in front of you. चलो, tell me the start of the pre-construction period. 11th April 19. Very good. End date. 31st March 19. Shabash. Now I want to know, what did you consume last night? I also want to try that stuff. I want to try the same stuff. मुझे भी ये वाला नशा ट्राई करना, सस्ता वाला ही होगा, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट लाइफ में ज्यादा महंगा नशा तो वी कैन नॉट अफोर्ड. तो ये सस्ते में मिलता है, ये वाला मेरे को भी ट्राई. आई एम टेलिंग यू, देर इज एक चूरन आता है, नेम ऑफ द कंपनी इज मैंगो चूरन. बेसिकली इट इज ओनली चूरन, इट हैज शिव जी का प्रसाद इन इट. मतलब क्या? हाँ, भांग बोलते हैं हम लोग, बट देन ऑब्नॉक्शियस टाउन इज यू से. एंड स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग दिवाली पूजन, व्हेन पंडित जी कम्स, उसको ऐसे साइड में दबा के एंड ओपनली इन फ्रंट ऑफ माई मदर, मतलब साल में एक बार तो खाऊंगा, डोंट स्टॉप. इफ आई थिंक दैट आई एम डूइंग समथिंग रॉन्ग, देन आई विल डू इट सीक्रेटली, बट आई डोंट थिंक आई एम डूइंग समथिंग रॉन्ग. and then I am the entertainer for the entire family. तो आज आप सेम काम कर रहे हो. According to you, this is basically मुन्ना भाई MBBS का हॉस्टल रूम. कैसे पता है? चालू होने के पहले ही खत्म हो गया. हाँ. And when students identify this, नहीं यार ये तो कुछ गड़बड़ हो रहा है, तो what देख के शायद सर ये रॉन्ग होगा, ये कर दे. अरे पागल. That means your pre-construction period is going on after completion of construction. So what you all have not understood here is, ladies and gentlemen, there is no pre-construction period as construction is completed in year of loan itself. जिस साल I took the loan in 1920. Within a few months, within the same financial year, construction got completed. मतलब 1920 में property is ready, तो 1920 का computation will take place. तो उसमें day 1 से interest will get covered. There is no pre-construction period. हाँ, yes sir. अभी understood what this question wanted to see from you. चलिए, very good. अब no further. Some are like करने ग्रुप पहले. I think here also no, you wrote the principal and the interest का rate and all that. And some are like नहीं अभी मैं principal और interest नहीं लिखूंगा, पहले मेरे को date check करना. Date check. This is 19. This is 23. Good gap. Correct है? तो चलिए. Yes. Tell me what is the principal? 23 lakh. Rate of interest 13.5% per annum. Very good. Start date of your pre-construction period. Date of taking the loan, that is 15th October 2019. End date. When does construction get over? 20th July 23. मतलब 23-24 का computation will take place. तो last
31st March 23.
Very good. ठीक है. Now identify how many complete years. 20 to 23 complete year. 21-22 complete year. 20-21 complete year. 19-20 incomplete year. That means can I say 3 complete years?
Yes, sir.
20-21 से लगा के 20-23. It is going to be 23 lakh into 13.5% into 3 के 3 by 12. 3. 9,31,500. Now let's talk about 1920. It is an incomplete year. Still principal and rate will not change. Now here आप 5.5 months नहीं ले सकते. You have to take days. Please give me the denominator, numerator, please. 365 बराबर numerator.
366.
You decide and give me the final answer. You don't ask multiple questions to me.
366.
Why? 2020 का फेब्रुवरी है. फेब्रुवरी विल तो कम इन एवरी फाइनेंशियल ईयर. बस इसके अंदर जो फेब्रुवरी है दैट विल बी 2020 का फेब्रुवरी. वेरी गुड. दिस वाज आल्सो समथिंग दैट द क्वेश्चन. सी ये है ना, दे टेस्ट यू ऑन दीज थिंग्स, नॉट नॉलेज. चल ठीक है. तो गिव मी द न्यूमरेटर. वो भी तो चाहिए ना. Of course. You give me the total numerator. खाली अक्टूबर नहीं होएगा ना, मार्च तक you will have to take only October you are taking.
169.
एक बार कैलकुलेटर पे वेरीफाई कर लो.
169.
Okay. Ready? Finally. Those who think 168, shout loudly 168.
168.
Those who think 169.
169.
अच्छा, while taking your 168, आपने फरवरी में 29 लिया क्या नहीं?
So 169.
See, if you got this, then you can't make a mistake in February.
I was for 28, 27 का बहुत करके
27 plus 1 करके नहीं, 28 plus 1. Then you are changing your answer, but you still stick to 168. क्योंकि आपने फेब में 29 लिया, still you are getting. So that's your mistake. अब सुनो, सुनो, अक्टूबर में इट विल बी 31 टोटल, 15th लेना है बिकॉज माई पीरियड हैज स्टार्टेड. 2 मिस्टेक स्टूडेंट्स में, एक अक्टूबर का डेज, कोई कोई तो ऐसा पागल रहता है अक्टूबर में दे टेक 16, बोला 15 + 16 31. अरे 15 ऑल्सो हैज टू बी इंक्लूडेड, तो 14 एक्सक्लूड, तो अक्टूबर का 17. ऑब्वियसली नवंबर में नो मिस्टेक. कोई को पागल उसको नवंबर दिसंबर, देन यू डू दिस. December, Jan 31, and then some of you all made this mistake. This mistake shouldn't have taken place. अगर इधर 366 क्लिक हो गया, देखो इधर you would have done 168/365, मतलब फेब्रुआरी क्लिक ही नहीं हुआ. 366 क्लिक होने के बाद में you can't take 28 days, no? So 29 and of course 31. Finally 169 only is the correct answer. Everyone was laughing at him. इतना excited. But one thing I'll tell you, whenever people laugh at you, no, there is more likelihood that you are right. I'll tell you, ये fact है. Okay? Not always, but हाँ. एक बार तो हुआ, हाँ, ठीक है. क्या? ये देख, ये देख, ज्यादा होशियारी में यही होता है. 143, 373. Accordingly, the total that you get is 10,74,000. Is this total correct? 10,74,873?
Yes.
Of course, this is the total pre-construction interest. Divide by 5 करके installment. सुन लो. That will be your 5 installments plus current year. Because loan is still not repaid. That total will become your deduction. अब जाके check करो. If it is LOP तो give full deduction. If it is SOP then restrict that total to 30,000. There is where you check that completion of construction within 5 years. करेक्ट है. 2 लाख के 30,000. चलिए अभी डी. एटलीस्ट नाउ आफ्टर डूइंग इट सो मेनी टाइम्स इतना तो क्लियर है कि फर्स्ट वी राइट प्रिंसिपल. क्या दिया? 6 लाख. रेट 15%. वेरी गुड. स्टार्ट डेट ऑफ योर प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन पीरियड विल बी 1st Feb 20. ओके. एंड डेट, be careful, it is not as easy as you think it is. 4 क्वेश्चन करके दी. 22 के 23. सोच लिया अंदर. दिस आंसर इफ यू गिव रॉन्ग ऑल्सो नो, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि यू हैव नॉट रिवाइज. ये डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन है. इसका आंसर ये yesterday also if I would have finished house property and today I am doing the question, still people can go wrong. हाँ, तो ये रॉन्ग होएगा तो रॉन्ग होएगा, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट दैट्स द ट्रिक ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. फाइनल रेडी है सब लोग? Those who think 22 shout 22. Those who think 23. अब सुनो, हाउ टू एनालाइज which year construction got completed. मैं जो क्वेश्चन पूछते जाता हूं ना, you keep on answering. फाइनेंशियल ईयर 20 to 23 में कंस्ट्रक्शन got completed. Why? Because this falls in 20 to 20. मतलब 20 to 23 का कंप्यूटेशन ऑफ हाउस प्रॉपर्टी होगा. तो 20 to 23 का GAV म्युनिसिपल टैक्स, NAV, इंटरेस्ट, 20 to 23 का इंटरेस्ट होगा. तो विच इज द लास्ट डेट जब तक का इंटरेस्ट नहीं हुआ है? 31st March 22. The rule is 31st March before completion of construction. So this is what I told you while explaining pre-construction interest also. Even if the property is ready on 31st March, you will take the last 31st March. In fact, we did one example also on that. वो आप PDF scroll करोगे तो you'll come to. Okay. So 31st March 22. अब चेक करो. I think 21-22 is a complete year. 2021. हाँ, वो भी फुल है बिकॉज अप्रैल से स्टार्ट होएगा. 1920 is incomplete. Can I say 2021 and 21-22? 6 lakh into 15% into 2. 1,80,000. And as far as 1920 is concerned, 6 lakh. This is good news. 29 upon मार्च कौन लेगा? देखो देखो, इफ इट इज 1st of February नो, तो यू कैन टेक मंथ्स, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. इफ इट वॉज 2nd February तो डेज पर. आई टोल्ड यू नो, फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द मंथ होगा तो टेक इन मंथ्स, नो प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज कंप्लीट मंथ्स है. सो हाउ मेनी मंथ्स? 2. विच 2? 2/10. 2nd Feb भी होता तो यू आर राइट. वैसे यू आर राइट हियर ऑल्सो. इट्स ओनली गोइंग टू बी अ राउंडिंग ऑफ का डिफरेंस एंड यू विल बी मार्क्ड राइट इन दैट ऑल्सो. Okay, but to save your time, you can do it like that accordingly. 15,000. Yes, sir. So total becomes 1. Obviously, divide by 5 karoge, so you will get your installment. Everyone clear? Yes. Well, this was about the pre-construction ka division. With this house property ka chapter with all conceptual questions over. Now we have to basically revise the entire chapter in one question. And to revise the entire chapter in one question, we have our question number 50. देखो नंबरिंग जो क्वेश्चन का मैंने किया है ना, लाइक चैप्टर बाय चैप्टर, न्यू चैप्टर का क्वेश्चन का नंबर इज स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम लास्ट चैप्टर का वेरेवर इट गेट्स ओवर. ओके, सो एट द एंड ऑफ द टेक्स्ट बुक टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस का भी क्लियर पिक्चर वी कैन गेट. दैट्स द आइडिया यार. चलिए देखते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 51 प्लीज.
Mr. Chirkut Kumar has several buildings at various places for which following information given for previous year 22-23. Location of buildings: Vile Parle, Andheri, Mani, Bandra and Dadar.
Okay, so 5 buildings का look, what data is given? 5 buildings and we understood the location. अब data में क्या क्या दिया? Only the particulars column we are interested in. Amounts so we will take while solving the sum. क्या क्या दिया?
Municipal value per annum.
Okay.
Fair rent per annum.
Okay.
Standard rent as rent per RC Act.
Rent Control Act. हाँ.
Rent per month. Municipal tax.
सुनो, that means municipal valuation, fair rent, standard rent and actual rent. And this data has to be given. Without this you cannot solve only. सब कुछ दिया. Then
municipal tax paid in 22-23 by landlord for 21-22 and for 22-23.
मतलब in the current year landlord has paid municipal taxes of 2 years, current year and last year. तो you will get deduction खाली कौन से साल? अरे लास्ट ईयर का. हाँ, you pay for 10 years you get deduction on payment basis. Correct? Provided it is paid and हाँ, इसलिए you will get full 10 and 20 या 0 and 25 whatever be the amount. लेकिन साथ ही साथ there is also म्यूनिसिपल टैक्स आउटस्टैंडिंग, मतलब इट हैज अक्रूड बट वी हैव नॉट पेड, तो क्या हो गया? डिडक्शन नॉट. आउटस्टैंडिंग का नॉट अलाउड. ओके, नेक्स्ट. हाँ, ये पेड है, ये आउटस्टैंडिंग नहीं है, बट विल नॉट गेट डिडक्शन बिकॉज टेनेंट हैज पेड. इन अदर वर्ड्स वी आर गोइंग टू गेट डिडक्शन ओनली फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट. दिस इज इररिलेवेंट, दिस इज इररिलेवेंट. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट. एलिजिबल मतलब वो जो कंडीशंस है ना, टेनेंसी इज बोनाफाइड, वेकेटेड द प्रॉपर्टी, फुलफिल्ड, तो ये अनरियलाइज रेंट का डिडक्शन विल बी गिवन. दिस इज करंट ईयर का अनरियलाइज रेंट, वी विल गेट द डिडक्शन ऑफ दिस. समझा क्या नहीं? ओके, नेक्स्ट. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन. दिस विल डिसाइड whether we have to treat Vile Parle, Andheri, Mahim, Bandra as SOP, LOP. क्या? फर्स्ट वन, फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी इज Vile Parle, लेट आउट प्रॉपर्टी. चलिए, सेकेंड अंधेरी ऑल्सो लेट आउट. थर्ड माहिम सेल्फ, वैसे भी आप लोग सब माहिम वाले हो ना, तो ओन रेसिडेंस सेल्फ ऑक्यूपाइड. अभी तक तो ओनली वन एसओपी हैज कम, वन मोर विल कम, नो प्रॉब्लम. थर्ड होएगा तो वी विल नॉट लेट दैट हैपन, देन वी विल मेक एनी वन ऑफ देम एज. वेरी गुड. फोर्थ इज सबलेट प्रॉपर्टी, बैंड्रा. कैन आई से सबलेट प्रॉपर्टी तो विल नॉट कम ओनली, एनी रेंट फ्रॉम दिस प्रॉपर्टी विल गो वेयर? IFOS. तो हाउस प्रॉपर्टी में वी हैव टू इग्नोर. एंड फिफ्थ इज दादर बिजनेस. Business properties are also excluded because I would like to remind you about the third condition, not used for business. That means can I say Bandra, Dadar, these two properties will be excluded. Effectively we have to do Vile Parle, Andheri, both are let out properties, and Mahim which is self occupied property. बस इतना ही करना. Okay, चलिए. What else is given after occupancy information? Occupied by tenant 12 months, तभी तो let out है. Andheri tenant 7 months, owner 2 months, मतलब some part of the year it was self occupied, and vacant for 3 months. तो first property तो full let out, सेकेंड प्रॉपर्टी को प्रोपोर्शन करना पड़ेगा. 7 months लेट आउट प्रॉपर्टी. ओके, तो इट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज फुल एलओपी. एंड थर्ड में मित्रों, इट हैज टू बी ओनर फॉर 12 months, क्योंकि वन डे ऑल्सो टेनेंट कम्स, नो, इट डज नॉट रिमेन एसओपी. एंड फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ कॉलम वी आर इग्नोरिंग. ठीक है, गिवन. ठीक है, हाँ, रिवाइज कर. हाउस प्रॉपर्टी में इट वॉज नॉट रेलेवेंट बट आई स्टिल डिस्कस्ड इट. इंटरेस्ट ऑन लोन इज गिवन. देखो अभी इंटरेस्ट का डिडक्शन कम्स, नो, लेट आउट प्रॉपर्टी में. एसओपी में भी लिमिटेड एंड एलओपी में अनलिमिटेड. सो वी विल गिव डिडक्शन व्हेनेवर एंड वेरेवर वी हैव टू. व्हाट एल्स?
Sherwood Kumar is owner of all buildings listed above except one at Bandra, which is on lease for 10 years.
That is why we are calling it sublet, no?
Yes, sir.
That means बाकी सबका तो he is the owner, but the other is still excluded because business है. Bandra में it is taken on lease for 10 years. So we are excluding it because it will be sublet going under. सुनो मित्रों, if it was 12, DLOP, deemed owner, and this property which is otherwise being excluded will be included for house property purposes. But finally the conclusion is he is neither legal owner nor deemed owner. That means not fulfilling owner का condition, and therefore finally we decide Bandra का property will be पक्का excluded from house property. ठीक है, continue.
Interest on loan regarding Andheri building is sent to South Africa without deducting required tax at source, and there is no agent in India representing that foreign lender.
So what will happen when you pay interest outside India without deducting TDS? Not deduction नहीं मिलेगा. You will not get deduction. इंटर में ये सब छोटा मोटा मिस्टेक इज एक्सेप्टेबल. ओके, फाइनल का बच्चा अगर नॉट एग्जाम बोला उसको नागड़ा करून जागेवर ठोकना. बट इंटर के बच्चे से दीज मिस्टेक्स आर वेरी एक्सेप्टेबल मिस्टेक्स. डिडक्शन नॉट अलाउड. करेक्ट है. आई डू वन थिंग, आई राइट एडजस्टमेंट 2 year. तो क्या होगा पता है, वाइल सॉल्विंग विले पार्ले का था कि अंधेरी का था? सॉरी, तो रॉन्ग जगह पे लिखा. अंधेरी के सामने आई विल राइट एडजस्टमेंट 2. तो वाइल सॉल्विंग अंधेरी का प्रॉपर्टी, आई नो दिस फॉर अ फैक्ट दैट एडजस्टमेंट 2 हैज गॉट समथिंग टू डू विद अंधेरी, और उसमें आई डोंट हैव टू गिव इंटरेस्ट का डिडक्शन क्योंकि टीडीएस वाज नॉट डिडक्टेड. चलिए, व्हाट एल्स?
Regarding Parle building, Ville Parle building, there is recovery of unrealized rent of 30,000 and legal expenses to recover this amounted to 5,600.
मतलब करंट ईयर का वॉट एवर बी द डेटा ऑफ विले पार्ले प्लस देयर इज रिकवरी. ऐसा होता है ना, पास्ट ईयर का अनरियलाइज. देखो ये जो 15,000 है ना, दिस इज करंट ईयर का अनरियलाइज वेयर एक्चुअल में भी टेक डिडक्शन, बट पास्ट का अनरियलाइज व्हेन इट इज रिकवर्ड टुडे. व्हाट इज द टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ अनरियलाइज रेंट रिकवर्ड टुडे ऑफ पास्ट ईयर? टैक्सेबल इन द करंट ईयर. तो फर्स्ट वी विल फाइंड आउट द करंट ईयर का इनकम ऑफ विले पार्ले, एंड करंट ईयर की इनकम में साथ में वी विल एड द अनरियलाइज रेंट. जो पास्ट ईयर का रिकवर हुआ है उसको तो वी जस्ट हैव टू मिलेगा. तो व्हेन वी विल सॉल्व इट वी विल टेक इट. करेक्ट है. चलिए ठीक है, नेक्स्ट.
Other unrealized rent recovered as below.
मतलब अदर देन विले पार्ले दूसरी जगह का भी अनरियलाइज रेंट रिकवर्ड है. कौन सा? फर्स्ट
अंधेरी बिल्डिंग rent realized is 2 lakhs and expenses are 25,000.
ठीक है, मतलब अंधेरी में आई विल राइट एडजस्टमेंट नंबर 4 हो गया. 4 हो गया ना. दैट करंट ईयर का कंप्यूटेशन करके आई विल एड द रिकवरी ऑफ अनरियलाइज रेंट ऑल्सो, पास्ट ईयर का रिकवर्ड. एंड
बोरीवली बिल्डिंग and it was
बोरीवली बिल्डिंग. क्वेश्चन टोल्ड मी विले पार्ले, अंधेरी, महिम, Bandra, and we are South Mumbai wala people, obnoxious townies by birth. We don't even know what is Borivali. What is Borivali? I have heard this name somewhere. Correct है ना? South Mumbai वाला लोग once they travel beyond Bandra बोलते हैं हम तो गांव में जाके आ रहे हैं. We are obnoxious townies, no, born and brought up in South. Borivali, it was sold in 5/6. Because it was sold in 5/6 तो current year का तो कोई data available है नहीं. But past का unrealized rent can be recovered. Today I am not the owner, but in the past I was the owner. So will we take this rent? I am not the owner because it pertains to a year for which I was the owner. But here I can't write adjustment number against any building, no, because Borivali का कोई column ही नहीं. तो put a अरे independent adjustment. Put a star. हाँ वही जो accounts में होता है वो independent. So first finish trial balance adjustment, then independent adjustment वैसा ही होता है. तो after finishing columns we will do this independently. Correct है? चलो next.
There are also recoveries of arrears of rent as increase in rent was disputed by tenants. Mahim building built in 1990 1,60,000 and no expenses as it was at friendly settlement.
मतलब along with recovery of unrealized rent, we also have recovery of arrears याद है ना? Out of love and affection extra. तो माहिम में है तो ठीक है, माहिम के सामने we will write adjustment 5 current year का computation करके recovery of arrears will be added. ठीक है, and
London building.
अच्छा, one good thing is we are obnoxious townies. We travel to London more than we travel to गोरेगांव. तो सुन ऐसा लगता है लंदन अपना घर का है. But point is that London का there is no column. Why is there no column? Because so now will we take it? Will we take it? That's the question first. Why? Even if we are not the owner, because we were owners at the time when this rent pertains. Consequently, this will also be taken as an independent. So we'll solve Vile Parle, Andheri, Mahim, and then Borivali and London separately as independent adjustments. Accordingly, you are required to calculate income from house property. This calculation will take care of all the knowledge acquired all throughout the chapter. We will do it property by property. Your complete focus should be on what step your mind is telling you. Okay, one after the other is your mind in the correct direction. Copying is not the criteria right now, because as you guys know that ये अगर unsolved भी है, there is no solution. But this PDF you all are taking after every class now. तब तो कोई टेंशन ही नहीं है ना, correct or no? तो मित्रों, question number 51. Question is asking you to compute income from house property. एक एक करके करेंगे. First, Vile Parle. Every time we write a property, इसके बाजू में write nature. Nature is let out. Why? It will help you to decide that we have to first take gross annual value, and now you have to behave like grown-ups. I know some of you all are still under 18 because this is CA inter का class, but behave like grown-ups. वो गया वो time. Municipal valuation, fair rent, which are सीधा tell me what is ALV RLV. वो municipal valuation और fair rent whichever is higher को expected rent बना के compare with standard rent whichever is lower. Final answer 1,10,000. This will be compared with your actual rent. Actual rent कितना है? Monthly rent is 15,000. 15,000 into 12. But wait, mitro, do you observe under actual we have been given unrealized rent which is current year का. एक तो recovery past year का है, but current year का unrealized तो we have to subtract. So that makes it 1 lakh. And there is no vacancy because full 12 months there was tenant. Do you realize in the absence of vacancy how ridiculous it gets? Whichever is higher. ALV or actual whichever is higher. Vacancy नहीं है तब तो it's a comedy I am telling you. ठीक है. तो finally GAV is going to be whichever is higher. अभी आपका mind जो बोलेगा ना, that I will write. I am not going to give you any hint or prompt or nothing. चलिए, municipal tax. But you should mention paid by landlord, irrespective of which year it pertains to. Confusion चाहिए ही नहीं. 30,000 total. Total. चलिए. Then next, 135 will become your. Very good. What to do after this? Deductions under section 24. First, standard deduction 30%. 40,000. Second, limited or unlimited? Because the property is, and here there is no violation also. वो violation अंधेरी में, तो 120, 500, And now look, what do I call this 14,500? Mark my words. This is my current year Ville Parle ka income. Current year ka income. Why do I call it current year? Because अभी adjustment number time pass के लिए तो लिखा नहीं. Adjustment 3, that means Ville Parle से related. There is something given in adjustment 3. There is recovery of unrealized arrears. Unrealized rent. So that will also be added here. Recovery of, how much is the recovery amount? 30,000. And expenses है 5,600 का, तो we will tax 24,400. तो क्या? Full 30. No! तूने खुद नहीं तो बोला कि यार वो है, मतलब we will not get deduction of any actual expense, but standard deduction of 30% is given against both recoveries of unrealized rent as well as arrears of rent. So standard deduction will be given accordingly. आप 30,000 into 70% करके भी लिख सकते हो, no problem. One and the same. Finally, we get 35,500 is my final answer from Ville Parle, and I will call it 1. And you know what? ऐसा 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5 is not Dadar Bandra. Borivali, London. That total 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 will become my taxable income from house property. अभी तो 1 हुआ है. Second, अंधेरी. शाबाश. Nature, LOP. LOP है तो you have to write GAV, and if you are writing GAV तो step 1 में you have to write ALB RLB. Do all the computation, give me the final answer of ALB RLB. Municipal valuation or fair rent, whichever is higher, and that amount or standard rent, whichever is lower. चलिए, actual. Here there is no unrealized rent only current year में, तो पूरा actual. What is the monthly rent? So 10,000 into 12, 12 मत ले लेना. 10,000 into let out period is only. This is your last chance to understand. Final answer will be one of them. But right now I cannot compare because this assessee has got some vacancy. In vacancy we will not take the SOP period. Vacancy period is only 5 months mat le lena. Vacancy period is only 3 months. So 3 into 10,000 will become my vacancy. Last chance to understand that comparison will take place between these two amounts, but final answer will be between these two amounts. Compare 5 and 7, but choose between 5 and 6. So ALV or actual, whichever is higher के हिसाब से, ALV is only coming as higher, and as ALV is higher, हाँ. What is the monthly rent? तो क्या नहीं समझा? You tell me. एक मिनट रुको. You tell me. Tell me है, नहीं तो मैं उधर आ रहा हूं. Think, read the question. मेरा फेस हैंडसम है. मेरे फेस पे क्या दिख रहा है? I know that I am handsome. Question देख बता. Why I am taking only sandwich? मतलब तेरे हिसाब से क्या होना चाहिए? क्या? तो you're totally confused. No. क्या? हाँ, वो 7 months का रेंट है ना. You have given your property to the tenant only for how much period? तो क्या 12 महीने का रेंट देगा क्या? करेक्ट है. In the first case, full year we gave it on rent. Ville Parle वाला. But अंधेरी we have given on rent only for 7 months. समझा? Finally understood. Compare which two amounts and choose between which two. ALB आपका GAV बन जाएगा 2,10,000. Next step you will tell me please. This is higher. समझ लो नेक्स्ट ईयर कोई वैकेंसी नहीं है. फुल ईयर यू हैव टेनेंट, तो यू विल शो 120 ओनली. नो, फिर भी एक्चुअल. इस बार अगर कोई वैकेंसी नहीं है, नेक्स्ट ईयर की बात कर रहा हूं, देयर इज नो वैकेंसी, ALB विल बी 2,10,000. एक्चुअल इज 120. व्हाट इज हायर? अभी कोई वैकेंसी भी नहीं है, सीधा व्हिचएवर इज हायर चूज करना. 210 मतलब ऐसे चोर है. ही इज गेटिंग 210 का रेंट बट शोइंग चेक में खाली 120, बाकी का कैश में सेटल कर रहा है। वो कैपेसिटी टू जनरेट रेंट टैक्सेबल इसलिए हुआ बिकॉज इन प्रॉपर्टी पीपल डू कैश चेक का कॉम्बो। तो असेसी चोर है, इज अंडर वैल्यूइंग इज रेंटल इनकम, तो वी विल टेक द एएलबी। और असेसी ऑनेस्ट होता, मतलब ही वाज शोइंग हायर देन 210, दैट मींस असेसी इज ऑनेस्ट, तो उसका एक्चुअल वैल्यू विल बी टेक। समझे? चलो, म्युनिसिपल टैक्सेस पेड कितना है? 25,000। तो एनएवी 1,85,000 माइनस डिडक्शन अंडर सेक्शन 24, स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन 55,500, इंटरेस्ट नॉट अलाउड। क्यों? वो एडजस्टमेंट नंबर लिखा किस लिए फिर? बिकॉज द असेसी हैज नॉट डिडक्टेड टीडीएस, तो इंटरेस्ट का डिडक्शन विल नॉट बी अलाउड। अकॉर्डिंगली व्हाट इज करंट ईयर अंधेरी का? स्टिल आई एम कॉलिंग इट करंट ईयर क्योंकि देयर आर टू एडजस्टमेंट, वन वाज इंटरेस्ट का डिडक्शन नहीं देना एंड सेकंड देयर इज रिकवरी आल्सो, नो? तो करंट ईयर का इनकम इज 129,500 एंड देन देयर इज सम रिकवरी। नाउ टेल मी व्हाट इज रिकवरी? रिकवरी कितना है? 2 lakhs एंड एक्सपेंसेस है 25,000 का। इग्नोर, एक्चुअल एक्सपेंसेस इररिलेवेंट। तो क्या फुल 2 lakh टैक्सेबल? नो, 2 lakh का 70%। डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? सेम एज टेकिंग 2 lakh minus 30%, वन एंड द सेम। ठीक है, हाउ एवर यू प्रेजेंट इट इज ओके। 1,40,000, 269,500 will become your अंधेरी का इनकम, that will be your 2, मतलब विले पार्ले 1 that was done, 35,500, 269,500 done. Next, third, Mahim, how life changes the moment you write SOP. You tell me what will happen. सीधा start with NAV equal to nil minus obviously स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन तो क्या ही करोगे, नील ओनली, इंटरेस्ट लिमिटेड क्या अनलिमिटेड? लिमिटेड। इफ इट इज लिमिटेड देन यू विल हैव टू राइट बोथ एक्चुअल इंटरेस्ट एंड मैक्सिमम कितना। एक्चुअल कितना है बाय द वे? 40। नाउ इट विल मेक अ डिफरेंस। इफ दिस वाज 4 तो फिर तो कोई बात नहीं, बट इफ इट इज 40 तो यू हैव टू चेक 30 के 2 लाख, 30 होएगा तो 30 विल बी द आंसर, 2 लाख होएगा तो 40 विल बी द आंसर। If the question is silent, तो assume condition is satisfied. For example, condition 1, loan should be taken for purchase or construction. वो तो given है, construction fulfilled. कितने साल में construction got completed? That 5 years is relevant only for this. Not given. तो ठीक है, assume के 5 years के अंदर हो गया. तो finally when we assume that condition fulfilled, तो 30 के 2 lakh. 30 के 2 लाख फाइनली। क्यों? अरे कुछ बोला नहीं ना, लोन टेकन व्हेन, तो फिर व्हेन अ प्रॉपर्टी इज बिल्ट इन 1990 तो कंस्ट्रक्शन का लोन विल बी, ऐसा क्या? क्यों? कंस्ट्रक्टेड प्रॉपर्टी देन यू टुक द लोन। इफ द क्वेश्चन टेल्स यू प्रॉपर्टी वॉज बिल्ट इन 1990, इतना ब्रैकेट में लिख के बिल्ट इन 1990, मतलब क्वेश्चन हैज गिवन यू द हिंट दैट दिस इज गोइंग टू बी। आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हो? बिल्ट इन 1990, ब्रैकेट क्लोज नहीं किया, ठीक है, क्वेश्चन कंटिन्यूस। तो बेटा प्लीज बी केयरफुल दैट व्हेन गिविंग एसओपी का डिडक्शन, ये 1990 है तो लोन मतलब पहले लिया है, देयरफॉर 30 का डिडक्शन रहेगा, क्लोज द ब्रैकेट। क्वेश्चन ऐसा होगा क्या? क्वेश्चन सेज 1990 मतलब यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड के लोन वाज टेकन बिफोर द रिक्वायर्ड डेट एंड अकॉर्डिंगली मैक्सिमम विल बी 30,000। करेक्ट है? चलिए, तो फाइनली व्हाट्स योर आंसर? विच एवर इज लोअर। टोटल डिडक्शंस 30 माहिम का, बट दिस इज स्टिल करंट ईयर माहिम, नो? इसका भी रिकवरी इज गिवन। व्हाट इज दैट? 1,60,000। दिस इज रिकवरी ऑफ अरियर्स 160। इधर कोई एक्सपेंस नहीं है तो फुल 160 टैक्सेबल। नो, तो क्या here also it will be, because against all recoveries 30% standard deduction is going to be allowed. So 1,12,000. Finally 82,000 will be your income from Mahim. That's your 3. मतलब बिले पार्ले अंधेरी Mahim done. सुनो, note 1. Bandra will be excluded. अरे वो 5 कॉलम दिया है तो why you are not taking 2 columns? You have to tell the paper checker. Bandra will be excluded. Why? As assessee is not the, no longer he was never the owner, not the owner. So condition is not fulfilled. Likewise, Dadar excluded as it is talk less and work more का एग्जाम्पल है ये. You don't have to give an entire story out here. As Bandra building has been sublet by the assessee, so subletting is covered under income from other sources. Therefore, while solving the above question, we have not taken. अरे तेरे को कौन बोलता है? You don't have time. In exam, you will always be running short of time. And second, when one line speaks enough, why do we need to write so much? अब बोल समझ में आता, कम बोल के ज्यादा काम कर. Talk less, work more. Clear example. In 2 lines, I have completed both properties. तो क्या खत्म क्या? All 5 columns. नहीं. Now, independent adjustment. Star mark वाला adjustment. 4th, Borivali. And 5th, London. First of all, let's be clear that recovery is taxable for both. Even if assessee is not the owner. अरे सर ऐसे कैसे? Assessee was not the owner, that is why Bandra you have excluded. But not the owner now, na? Earlier he was the owner. But for Bandra he has never been the owner. Correct? इसलिए we will take the recovery. What's the recovery of Borivali? तो 1 lakh outer कौन? एक्सपेंस दिया है ना? एक्सपेंस दिया है. नहीं दिया एक्सपेंस तो 1 लाख फुल्ली टैक्सेबल नहीं. 1 लाख का 30% नहीं 70% टैक्सेबल. 30 तो डिडक्शन है. कैन आई कॉल दिस 4 एंड 5th इज लंडन. 2 lakh. What to do again? 70%. This will be my 5. 1,40,000. Finally, my income from house property will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. हाँ अभी ऐड करते जाओ. 1 विले पार्ले 35,500. 2 अंधेरी 269,500. 3 Mahim 82,000. Bandra Dadar excluded 70 and 145 lakh 97,000. This question therefore summarizes your entire chapter right from GAV up to interest का डिडक्शन. एक प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन को छोड़ के दो. प्री कंस्ट्रक्शन का जो लास्ट क्वेश्चन है दैट तो वी हैव ऑलरेडी कंप्लीटेड. अदरवाइज ऑल रिकवरीज वगैरह एवरीथिंग इज टेकन केयर ऑफ आउट हियर. एवरीबॉडी क्लियर? कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस, एक्सीलेंट, अभिनंदनम. बोलो क्यों? चैप्टर हाउस प्रॉपर्टी ओवर.